I really love it when these two models cross colorways.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that model was this model because of the colorway.
There could be that issue with some people, but I think that they're close enough and different enough to make it work. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today, we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here, man. This is the Air Jordan 6 in the Bordeaux colorway, which is a popular colorway for the Air Jordan 7. This is not the first time that they've done this with the Air Jordan 6, and I'm here for it every single time. So the Air Jordan 6 debuted in 1991, whereas the Air Jordan 7 was a year later in 1992. Both models feature really great colorways, but they were very separate from one another. So some of the things that we like to see in Air Jordans, especially throughout the later years, is consistency. So like the debut colorway, starting with about the Jordan 10, was that white and black look, right? So like they would switch up the accent color. With the 10s, it was the steel blue. With the 11s, it was Concord. With the 12s, it was Taxi, but all three of those models are simply black and white, or white and black, depending on how you look at it. They even did the same thing with the 13. Just the accent color was red. But back in the early 90s, things were a little bit different. You had your simple black and red colorway, you had your white and red colorway, and then you had some extra stuff. The extra stuff was typically awesome. The Air Jordan 6, for example, the Carmines, the September blue or sport blue, depending on what you want to call it, the maroons, but they were also very subtle. Whereas the Air Jordan 7 was a little bit louder. And that's what I really like about these. They did the Air Jordan 7 justice. And again, they've done this before. They did it with the hair colorway, and I can't remember when that was, but we reviewed them. And it looked really good on that shoe too. I will say that I still preferred the Air Jordan 7 versus the Air Jordan 6. This one, I'm not sure, even though like it's still, I really do lean towards the 7, but this is so close. Look at how good these are. This is a much better shoe to play in if you're looking at early Air Jordans. Of course, a lot of people are not here to do that, but if you happen to, like that's why I started getting into basketball shoes in the first place, Michael Jordan, Nikes, all that stuff, because I actually played basketball. So that's what I always look at these shoes as. These are always gonna be basketball shoes to me, despite them being casual or lifestyle shoes to a bunch of new people. Now, one of the things that they did not replicate well enough, in my opinion, is the outsole of the 7, okay, is fantastic. I love the color. You still got the lines here. It would have been cool to see something, but I get that they wanted to really play up on the visual profile of the shoe, which they did do a great job at. But the bottom would have been a great touch. Maybe some color right in the middle, something, you know, multicolor that Jumpman, I don't know, but I think that they could have done a little bit more there. However, this is something that you won't ever see, so I get it. And speaking of the outsole, there still are clear sections, so the clear rubber that you typically have on an Air Jordan 6 is there. It's just a really dark smoked out look, which I think looks great. The midsole itself is polyurethane. It's not quite as dark as the original Air Jordan 7 in the Bordeaux colorway. And then tech specs include an encapsulated 4-foot air sole unit, and then the heel has an exposed air unit, which you can see it's a visible air, which is a lot different than the Air Jordan 7. This actually has full length air, so this has the same tech specs as the Air Jordan 10, as well as the Air Jordan 11. And in our last retro review, which was the Lightning 4s, I actually made note that the insole was actually polyurethane in that shoe, and how I would definitely let you guys know if it was not in the next retro, which is these guys. And I'm happy to say, it f***ing is, man.
Excellent.
What do you see back there?
It's an Air Jordan.
It's a Jumpman logo, not a Nike Air logo. And typically when they put the Nike Air logo, that's when we get all the OG features, which would include an insole that was made out of polyurethane instead of that cheap ass Ortholite. I don't want to jinx it, right? Knock on wood. But I'm really hoping this is the direction of the retros, because they used to just all come with them. Like back in '99, when the retros first started like coming back around again, they were polyurethane. They made them comfortable. They made them good. These are also board lasted as well, so that's an OG feature on the shoe. That's something that some 6s have, some 6s don't. Just kind of depends on which year you have. But these ones are board lasted just like the original. We also recently just learned in the Air Jordan 5 Silver Tongue, aka Fire Red, that the board last is actually a support feature for back in the day, because these don't have torsional shanks like modern shoes do. So the board last was the way to stiffen the shoe up so that an athlete like Michael wouldn't like over twist the foot. Speaking of Michael though, this colorway on this shoe is tied to two great kings in history, because
I'm listening.
MJ wore these on the court, but he also wore them in the music video for the King of Pop in Jam.
Now, as this foot comes back, The other one goes up and...
I think I got it.
One of the greatest artists of all time. Now, one of the most notable features on the Air Jordan 7 is actually the tongue. It's made out of neoprene. It's kind of that Huarache style sleeve that you'll see on the Huarache B-Ball as well as the Huarache Runner. And that tongue is different on every pair because of the abstract art. That's not featured on the front of the tongue here. However, the tongue is clear, which is dope. And you can see that artwork right there on the back. It's also on the insole as well. So the insole graphic is that same style art, which I think is awesome. And yes, they do come with extra laces, which the 7s don't. Okay, so this is really sick. They come with Bordeaux laces. This is clean. Another notable feature on the Air Jordan 7 is actually right here on the heel. It's the 23 branding or stamp patch, plastic tab, whatever you want to call it. They don't have one of those on the 6s, but they do pay tribute to that with the spoiler, which is also a plastic tab. So I think that that's really neat. I love the little things that they've done to really be like, oh yeah, let's pay tribute to this piece on here. That's the part that I really love about these. You'll see this stuff all the time on Instagram, where like a customizer or a Photoshop person will sit there and like redo colors, especially if there's a new Jordan, like the 34s, 35s, 36s. These people go nuts making cool ass colorways. This is that right here come to life. Like, I love seeing this stuff. These are so much lighter than these, I gotta say. Like, these are insanely light compared to this thing. Now, a notable feature on the Air Jordan 6 and not the Air Jordan 7 is actually behind the perforations that are on the upper of the shoe. On the original colorways, they had the 3M reflective. That is on, just in case you don't believe me, there they are. Wow. Now the lace lock is pretty basic. It's just a yellow color. I think that this would have been really cool to have that graphic too, or have this on there, or at least a 23. And the materials, surprisingly enough, are actually quite nice on these, at least on this particular pair. The black sections are a really nice nubuck, very similar to what we got on the Air Jordan 4 Lightning. So like that was an actual nubuck. This is an actual nubuck as well. Whereas the original 6 was Durabuck, which is synthetic nubuck. The gray material doesn't feel like genuine material. It feels a little closer to the Air Jordan 7. So it feels a lot like this, like a synthetic nubuck, but it does feel nice. It feels soft. The only thing I don't love is the toe shape. Some of these 6s come so nicely, and then some of them revert back to the box. It's a big difference to me. So that's the one thing where I'm like, they were so close. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear in your Air Jordan 6s, that's what I would recommend. Some people go down half a size, some people go up half a size. I go true to size, and that's again what I would recommend. They will be available at all Jordan brand retailers, and if you're here locally in the Sacramento or Elk Grove area, they'll be available over at Phenom. Make sure that you follow them on social media, which is at Phenom916, and that way you can like know what their launch procedures are, because they're different for every release. And then also, if you're not in this area, but you're over on the East Coast in Minnesota, then you can follow their Phenom Global account, and that's how you will find out what those releases are going to be like at their other locations. Anyways, this color, this Bordeaux, like this maroon, is like your favorite color.
Yes.
So I really need to know, because I don't remember if you even like 6s. I think you don't like them based off of height alone. Do you like these though?
I appreciate them wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Because of the color scheme. I think they're fun to look at. Basically, I just like that color palette. Like, I feel like anything from blush to a very deep wine color, I'm happy with.
What's blush?
Blush is like those 3s that,
Oh, okay,
you know?
like a lighter tone.
So yeah, anytime they can like squeeze those onto the shoes in a
Nice
tasteful way, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So I would definitely go for these before I would put these on.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
because these are like lighter and they're
They're
more...
so light.
I know, I'm not playing. Like, it's like, I don't ever notice these things, because like I just wear...
Yeah.
I've been wearing these things for a long time and stuff, so like I typically don't notice, but when you have them both, you're like, wow, this is crazy. Jordan must have felt like he was flying in these things compared to these. And with all that being said, let me know what you think about these down below in the comment section. Are you going after a pair? Are you not? I'm actually surprised with the materials alone. I think that the nubuck overlays are great. I'm surprised that there's 3M on there. I love the clear hit on the tongue with the 7 tongue poking through. I love the polyurethane midsole, or not midsole, insole, even though this is a midsole too. But I love that they put the insole in there. They did a great job. I gotta give them credit. Good
Gold
shit.
star.
Yeah, good shit. But anyways, you guys let us know what you think about them down below in the comment section. Also, if you were to pick one, if you had to, which one? Based off of looks alone. If you did want to go off of performance, that's cool too. But based off of looks alone, which one? Do I still got to sign off?
Do you not?
I don't know.
Bye.
No, let me do it. Let me do it. So with all that being said, have a good one. Ooh, wow, that was awkward with the left.
It's hard.
I always do
It
with the right.
It doesn't.
Yeah, no, that was felt like trying to do a lefty layup. It was probably not happening. That's why you go jelly it.
Jelly?
You don't play basketball, so you don't know. I don't have time to explain this one.